Hello students, today we will discuss symbolism into the lighthouse. Symbols are objects, characters, figures or colors used to represent abstract ideas or concepts. So in this novel there are certain words or certain objects that are used as symbols. They have their own symbolic significance. The first is the lighthouse, lying across the bay and meaning something different and intimately personal to each character. The lighthouse is at once inaccessible, illuminating, and infinitely interpretable as the destination from which the novel takes its title. The lighthouse suggests that the destinations that seem surest are most unobtainable. Just as Mr. Ramsay is certain of his wife's love for him and aimed to hear her speak words to the end in the window, Mrs. Ramsay finds these words impossible to say. These failed attempts to arrive at some sort of solid ground, like Lily's first try at painting, Mrs. Ramsay and Mr. Ramsay's attempts to see Paul and Minta married, result only in more attempts, further excursion rather than rest. The lighthouse stands as a potent symbol of this lack of attainability. James arrived only to realize that it is not at all the most shrouded destination of his childhood. Instead, he is made to reconcile two competing and contradictory images of this star. How it appeared to him when he was a boy, and how it appears to him now that he is a man. He decides that both of these images contribute to the essence of the lighthouse, that nothing is ever only one thing. A sentiment that echoes the novel's determination to arrive at truth through various and contradictory vantage points. The next symbolically important object is Lily's painting. Lily's painting represents a struggle against gender convention represented by Charles Tansley's statement that women can't paint or write. Lily's desire to express Mrs. Ramsay's essence as a wife and mother in the painting mimics the impulse among modern women to know and understand intimately the gender's experiences of the women who came before them. Lily's composition attempts to discover and comprehend Mrs. Ramsay's beauty, just as Woolf's construction of Mrs. Ramsay's character reflects her attempt to assess and portray her own mother. The painting also represents dedication to a feminine artistic vision, expressed through Lily's anxiety over showing it to William Banks. In deciding that completing the painting, regardless of what happens to it, is the most important thing, Lily makes the choice to establish her own artistic voice. In the end, she decides that her vision depends on balance and synthesis, how to bring together disparate things in harmony. In this respect, her project mirrors Woolf's writing, which synthesizes the perceptions of her many characters to come to a balanced and truthful portrait of the world. The Ramsay's house. The Ramsay's house is a stage where Woolf and her characters explain their beliefs and observation. During her dinner party, Mrs. Ramsay sees her house displayed her own inner nations of shabbiness, her inability to preserve beauty. In the Time Passes section, the ravages of war and destruction and the passes of time are reflected in the condition of the house rather than in the emotional development or observation of the characters. The house stands in for the collective consciousness of the house, consciousness of those who stays in it. At times the characters long to escape it, while at the other times it serves as refuge. From the dinner party to the journey to the lighthouse, Woolf shows the house from every angle, and its structure and contents mirrors an interior of the characters who inhabit it. The sea. References to the sea appears throughout the novel. Broadly, the ever-changing, ever-moving waves parallel the constant forward movement of time and the changes it brings. Woolf describes the sea loving and beautifully, but her most evocative depiction of it point to its violence. As a force that brings destruction, has the power to decimate islands, and as Mr. Ramsay reflects, eats away the ground we stand on. The sea is a powerful reminder of the impermanence and delicacy of human life and accomplishment. The boar's skull. After her dinner party, Mrs. Ramsay retires upstairs to find the children wide awake, bothered by the boar's skull that hangs on the nursery wall. The presence of the skull acts as a disturbing reminder that death is always at hand, even during life's most blissful moments.